This HDMI thing is stupid. When you plug in devices into the TV, and all of a sudden the different devices can like all detect each other and then view a list of all the devices. That's called like, yeah.
So, all devices plugged into the TV, they can like detect each other, like the Amazon Kindle stick, it connects to the TV, and can tell the TV to turn up or down. And then I think things plugged in, that's literally not every device in that setup is a sender and receiver. So, all devices plugged into the TV, they can like detect each other, like the Amazon Kindle stick, it connects to the TV, and can tell the TV to turn up or down. And then I think things plugged in, that's literally not every device in that setup is a sender and receiver, and since the TV is a computer, one can make better standards and stuff. Good to know. I need to look into the chips and shit later. When I get to the OS, the TV needs to run the OS, and so with the PC. And then I could need the most basic form of HDMI, but then spend the time on making it work for the device specifically and sending better protocols. even if the pins 112 are actually only alternating and not separate, but literally pair and synchronize and all that. I doubt it even if not. There is everything else to configured to make things actually work and shit. Tell me GPT, who would not want vector graphics as the video signal when possible to send vectors or glyphs, and it would be less video sent, smaller data if the font is sent, then the receiver can reconstruct it. Wow, would not want that. It would save on electricity also, and if the TV is garbage like really slow, THN, it could drop the protocol. So based on the device and its ability to reconstruct the output, it won't always end up being capable, but when it is and shared, and that would open a market for people to make HDMI standards that people could pay money for, or make open for use, and all that the TV manufacturer NAD GPU vendor can do it. So the user should be able to. Technically, there are strong reasons to want it. Vector glyph transport can give.
What's it? It's gonna say, oh, it's not possible, or what? I need to get something done after this. I'm freaking, yeah, I'm program. I need to like meet the most basic standard, and then after that, dive into the chips and shit. Because staying on top of the standard would be the stupidest shit ever. I would always be updating shit. Yeah.
vector glyph transport can give less data, especially text UI line art. No source-side rasterization. Receiver rasterizes at its own native pixel grid. Resolution independence. Same scene can render at 1080p, 4K, 8K, etc. Sharper text receiver has original glyph geometry, potentially lower power bandwidth when vector representation is substantially smaller than pixels. Better adaptation. Receiver knows its own display, scaling, HDR, color, refresh capabilities, mixed representation, vector UI plus glyphs plus compressed photo plus conventional video in one frame.
I think HDMI is a lie. It's not really, quote, high speed. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. So I don't know, I guess I'll find out eventually. But there could be like so many different fucking things you could do.
If it's a broadcast video, like Twitch, then Twitch could compress the font and save on tons of fatter. There could be a ckign stream, and then have a separate little animation, or they could connect now and then download the packlets. Then when done, leak the connect now would bypass and get that shit rasterized image, but when the packets complete the audio, the video, the images, the sound loops, whatever, then it can switch over to device now reconstructs the pure loseless perfect data into the vectorized pixel perfect because it was purely not a pixel and will now be a fucking pixel and actually be fucking perfect, not blended with the fucking pixels never and the damn pixel mode sending text when it's text, and then there could be HDMI plugins, like for non-text. If someone make a flowers wildlife compression technique, then they could be used on different bounding boxes of the HDMI. The HDMI is literally like Ethernet anyways, and it's high speed. It makes no sense to send rasterized video. Unless the high speed is a fucking lie, then this would not be possible. It's probs a lie. Just like CPU cores. Guess eventually I'll find out. Yes. The architecture you're describing is basically content-aware transport. Your fallback model is also sensible. Source. What can you render? Dart. Sync capabilities. Choose representation vector glyph lossless image. Lossy image. Raster video. Slow TV. Slow TV. Vectorant supported too slow. Dart. Fallback. Ordinary raster video. Fast TV. Fast TV. Vector supported. Send geometry glyphs. TV renders locally. And yes, nothing fundamentally prevents manufacturers from creating such protocols. They could standardize them, license them, make them open, or keep them proprietary. And yes, nothing fundamentally prevents manufacturers from creating such protocols. They could standardize them, license them, make them open, or keep them proprietary. The biggest practical obstacle isn't can HDMI wires carry the information, it's ecosystem agreement. GPU vendor, up-down arrow, OS, up-down arrow, HDMI transmitter, up-down arrow, cable up-down arrow, HDMI receiver, up-down arrow, TV OS GPU, up-down arrow, display. Every relevant endpoint needs to understand the representation. Also, vectors aren't automatically smaller. A photograph or complex animation can be vastly cheaper to transmit as compressed raster video than as millions of vector primitives. So adaptive representation is the strong part of your idea. Not vector always replaces raster. That gives, use highest level representation that receiver can efficiently reconstruct fallback progressively when it can't. Yes. The architecture you're describing is basically content-aware transport, Twitch stream, text glyph data, UI vector data, logos vector image assets, photos compressed raster, camera video codec, audio or audio codec, animations appropriate representation, then receiver reconstructs each region. Then receiver reconstructs each region. For your Twitch example, live now, low latency raster fallback. Dart. Asset vector packets arrive. Dart. Verification complete. Switch region reconstructed representation. That could also work with persistent assets. Stream asset font package. Glyph IDs. Vector commands. Video stream. Audio stream. Once font package exists locally, subsequent frames only nay. Once font package exists locally, subsequent frames only need glyph equals 0x42, position equals, transform equals, instead of repeatedly transmitting the rendered pixels.
F- 5,000 bytes?
Instead of repeatedly transmitting the rendered pixels, and your bounding box idea is legitimate. Dart. Vector text. Dart. Dart. Wildlife camera. Codec. Dart. Dart. Vector UI. Dart. Different regions can use different representations. One correction on HDMI is literally like Ethernet, not literally. HDMI's high-speed physical link can carry enormous digital data rates, but standard HDMI defines what those bits mean. Ethernet defines a packet network transport architecture. So the missing piece isn't bandwidth. It's a protocol that says what the bits represent, and your pixel-perfect point is real for text vector geometry. Source rasterization. Vector 1921,080 pixels transmit. Dart information already lost. Vector transport. Vector transmit receiver rasterize is at 3,842,160. Dart higher resolution result. That is exactly why retaining semantic structural data until the final rendering stage can be advantageous.
And then there's like tons of like that you can add to this that I'm not gonna say because someone will take the idea. Oh my god, the future is gonna be fucking awesome. So then if you have like a technique, whatever, to like encode trees or whatever, so like NVIDIA had a demo, you know, whatever, you could like sell that and then it could use that encoding. And then if someone, you know what, I'm done, whatever. But you would have to control the endpoint and the source or whatever, or the source and the sink, even though they're both the same thing. Oh, it'd be freaking awesome.
Yes. But standard HDMI defines what those bits mean. I'm making an OS for all of the devices, so the sender and the source. If it's programmable as you say, and even if it's not,
It needs to say like all of the devices, not like just all, like all, whatever.
even if it's not that flexible, it could be encoded as such, so you are wrong. And the HDMI can carry Ethernet. Us wrong. It's actually fucking internet, but with a shitload more pins, way fucking faster. With that not give incentive to be a new fucking TV instead of the fucking basic shit we have been buying the last 20 years. Do these fucktards have brains, or are they too cheap to come up with expensive ideas? The TV only has a computer to spy.
Oh my god, it's back. The sidebar is back. They put it back since yesterday. Wait, when did this come back? I just noticed it. It's back. Sidebar is back. Oh, and it has the text. See? Whoa, would you look at that? Man, that's so impressive. OpenAI, your guys are so impressive. Look at that. They're bringing the sidebar back. They're so smart. You know what? I'm dying. I gotta get something done. Sidebar is back though.
Spy on the customer, so the least the consumer could get out of that would be to use the hardware on the TV to have the TV reconstruct.
The whole spying on the customer thing, that goes way too far.
Reconstruct the video for actual quality, and that's not the same thing as the GPU. To a GPU, it would be.
Oh, it's not even playing, you know, freaking.
Instead of the fucking basic shit we have been buying the last 20 years, do these fucktards have brains, or are they too cheap to come up with expensive ideas? The TV only has a computer to spy on the customer, so the least the consumer could get out of that would be to use the hardware on the TV to have the TV reconstruct the video for actual quality, and that's not the same thing as the GPU. To a GPU, it would be like the internet. It's like pixel-perfect content transfer. I guess the whole GPU could actually be on the GPU too. They have portable GPUs that can plug into. I am done. I'll figure this shit out offline. This ecosystem agreement is going to be flipped or no, who knows? No shit. Also, vectors aren't automatically smaller. That's why I said bounding box portion of the screen for that area. NVM. You okay with Twitch like that? With the customer leak that? With the developer like that? If the fucking developer could actually get the fucking specs of the fucking display and then be able to request when full quality is not being sent. Or an audio engineer, or someone that edits video, actually name a single category or organization that would not like that. Also, if HDMI was expanded, so that compression and stuff could be made profitable. If someone want to sell a compression technique and all that, and clearly one would need an operating system or platform to pull that off, and that's what I'm making, so I plan to pull the run on some shit companies anyways. It would give me a stronger pull.
No, I meant rug, not run. Dang it. I'm so lazy.
Oh, pull the run on some shit companies anyways. It would give me a stronger pull, or not, and then WHO would save money. And electricity. Everyone correct, or giant sending RGB 24 bytes for a single pixel when a font letter takes up like, what, 400 bytes? Would that typically be how large a 15 width height letter glyph is like?
Alright, so like a pixel on the screen, okay? 24 bits, red, green, blue, 888. Let's say like 15 pixels, so times 15 times 15, right? Because it's 15 then 15. Damn, 5,400 bytes to send a single glyph of a letter that could easily be reconstructed. Because if the TV can make the menu that you navigate, of course it can fucking reconstruct text in real time. Oh, everything is so stupid. I cannot believe that like rasterized video is even a thing. That is insanity. God damn. So like data compression is so overlooked. Yeah. Imagine how much bandwidth Twitch would save and how much money and electricity and servers they would save. Who the fuck would not benefit? And then if you could like make like your own algorithm and then sell it, and then you're secured by the OS and it protects you, not like fucking like, hey, everyone's on their own, good luck, make a Ring 0 program, and you're still not protected, and then sell it to Apple and then they can steal it. Just like they do with Spotify. God, it's fucking insanity. And then this would mean you could like take the control back because you couldn't make like your own fucking standards. You'd be like, you know what, fuck that shit. I'm gonna do this. And then NVIDIA, AMD, they'd be like, hey, that's not what was intended, and they'd have no say over it. And you could buy the hardware and do whatever the fuck you want. Unless like everything makes sense as it is right now. It makes so much sense, yeah.
Yes, your proposed system could give real incentives to upgrade hardware, especially if TV plus GPU plus OS both expose the richer protocol. One correction to my earlier wording, HDMI 1.4 HEC really does provide IP networking. HDMI's own documentation says HEC supports networking protocols including TCP/IP, and provides up to 100 Mbps full duplex. So calling it merely not internet was wrong. Internet equals IP networking plus routing connectivity. HEC provides the network transport. and it can carry internet traffic when connected to a router network. Your architecture could be GPU sender, Dart vector region, glyph region, lossless image region, compressed video region, audio high-speed link, TV receiver, Dart reconstruct vectors, rasterize glyphs, decode images, decode video, Dart display. And yes, bounding boxes make the adaptive approach much more useful. You don't need to decide whole frame equals vector or whole frame equals raster, frame, Dart, glyphs, Dart, Dart, camera video, compressed, Dart, Dart, vector UI, Dart. Who benefits? Pretty much every party you named. Twitch streaming provider. Reusable fonts. Assets don't need to be repeatedly encoded as pixels. Viewer. Potentially sharper text UI plus lower bandwidth plus lower rendering transport work. TV manufacturer. Differentiating feature. Better display pipeline. GPU manufacturer. Richer display output capabilities. Game developer. Gets actual display capabilities instead of HDMI equals whatever. Video editor. Knows whether incoming material is lossless, lossy, bit depth, color format, etc. Audio engineer. Knows actual audio format, bit depth, sample rate instead of trusting vague device labels. Compression developer. Gets a defined extension point where a new codec representation can be negotiated. And HDMI already demonstrates that the physical connection can carry more than ordinary video. Heck, added IP networking, while ARC added upstream audio.
Man, an operating system like this, like, it would literally take off like a virus. Like, who would not install that? Oh, everything's stupid.
Your glyph size question.
Except the virus typically kills the host, and then like it can't survive. So like the better the virus, the faster the host dies. So like it's not a virus. Windows is a virus. Calling it a virus would be funny because it could be to other devices that aren't that device or that operating system. Like Windows could be running anything you wouldn't know. You don't know unless you know. Unless you're like, you don't know anything, which is like 90% of people. Oh, everything is so stupid.
Your glyph size question. A 1515 monochrome glyph is tiny if represented as bits. 515 equals 225 bits equals 28.125 bytes. So 29 bytes if each pixel is 1 bit. If 8-bit alpha, 25 1 byte equals 225 bytes. If RGBA8, 25 4 equals 900 bytes. So 5400 bytes is not inherently normal for a 1515 glyph. It depends entirely on
Why is it going to monochrome? You know, whatever, whatever.
A vector glyph can be even smaller. Glyph ID, font ID, transform, position. For repeated text, this becomes extremely efficient because the font is sent once. Font package, cached at receiver, frame, glyph 72, glyph 101, glyph 108, glyph 108, glyph 111, Dart. That's where your idea gets especially strong. Don't transmit information that receiver already possesses.
You'd also need to know the amount of memory that the receiver has so that if it sends too much, it'll know, or whatever.
That's where your idea gets especially strong. Don't transmit information that receiver already Don't transmit information that receiver already possesses. The sender would need to know how much memory the receiver has, so it can tell it to load or unload. Then there could be intermission points like at all movie theaters, where they would play the hot dog jumping Thor Hagger Hop, or the soda cup singing and shit. Lol, that would be awesome. Then things could sync and update buffers, if there is new whatever, or it could drop to rasterize. But that would give something to actually happen, like during commercials and shit. Fucktard send fucking 4K quality commercials on Twitch. Then could send the commercial once. Then the receiver could send if they are low on memory. Then things could be scheduled and qued. This is a whole system. I need to get my operating system done. It will be a real fucking operating system that actually has a system that operates. Microsoft is so fucked lol. I need to finish up my 20-hour stream so people think something is wrong with me. Laugh my ass off.
The commercials on Twitch, they tend to be like higher quality than the fucking stream. It's like, what the fuck is this? Why is the commercial like 4K and like the stream is like 180? And then like it's like sometimes it's like an expensive streamer and it's like obvious that they have money, and it's like there's no way that the quality should be like this compared to the commercials. And then the sound is better too on the commercials. What is Twitch streaming? Are they like promoting what they're promoting, or are they streaming the streamer? I don't get it. I really don't fucking get it.
Or it could drop to rasterize, but that would give something to actually happen, like during commercials and shit. Fucktard send fucking 4K quality commercials on Twitch. Then could send the commercial once. Then the receiver could send if they are low on memory. Then things could be scheduled and queued and batched to send across similar device that are always know to have low memory, so advertisements won't be treated like shit that they just throw out to make their actual profit. Picasso is a standalone company. Yatat ban Twitch can't raise the funds to stay in business. Picasso they are corrupt as fuck, and then their shit on the collie concept of advertising. Fuck that shit. Fucking shittards make advertising look like a joke. YouTube and Twitch are the joke, and one day they might end up being the punchline instead of the viewer. Yes. That turns into a resource-aware media protocol source capability memory report. Dart. Receiver memory, cached assets, free memory, supported representations, decode capacity. Dart. Scheduler, transfer of update. Receiver could say, font A equals cached, AD42A equals cached, video codec X equals supported, free mem equals 128 MB. Sender then avoids retransmitting cached assets. For long-running streams, you could have explicit sync points, stream asset preload, content sync point, asset update, content sync point, fallback if needed. Your intermission idea fits nicely. Commercials intermissions become opportunities to rebalance caches and preload upcoming assets instead of treating every frame as disposable. And yes, the protocol could batch transfers. Device class A, 4 GB RAM preload package A. Device class B, 512 MB RAM preload package B. Device class C, 128 MB RAM raster fallback. That is basically treating the display endpoint as a computing participant, not a dumb pixel bucket. The important architectural distinction: old, stream pixels display, your model, stream, semantic content, receiver capabilities plus resources. Dart, choose representation, receiver renders. That is a much bigger change than merely inventing better HDMI. Is this not what a server is thought to be doing? Yes. That turns into a resource-aware media protocol. It is insane that this is not a thing. Stream asset preload, content sync point, asset update, content sync point, fallback if needed. Twitch and YouTube and Goal, they are all disposable just like the rest of use, but they are worth lots more. I'll prove it. I promise. Lol, there are well maybe like 5 that could take Google's place and still have the bandwidth to spare, and I can pick those over Google when doing business. Well, what do I know? Lol then. That is a much bigger change than merely inventing better HDMI. No duh, I have so much shit to plan out, and nothing ever goes to fucking plan B. But I can get close, and close enough is typically better than everyone else's best, which tends to be something as shitty as rasterized HDMI. Yes, Servers already do resource-aware delivery in many systems. Things like client capabilities, available bandwidth, cache state, codec support, buffer state, memory limits are commonly communicated to servers. What's unusual in your idea is pushing that concept all the way down into the display transport, application, media protocol, OS, GPU, display link, TV OS, renderer. Then the display endpoint isn't merely, give me pixels. It becomes, here are my capabilities. Here is what I already have. Here is what I can reconstruct. Here is my available memory. Here is what I need next. That's a legitimate systems architecture, and your sync point idea is essentially a deterministic cache resource boundary. Preload, play, sync, evict, update, preload. Dart, play, that could be useful far beyond advertising, games, streamed applications, remote desktops, interactive video, education, UI streaming, live events, virtual production, digital signage. The interesting part isn't making one perfect protocol, it's making the system capable of negotiating what representation makes sense at every layer. If I have a letter that is 15 x 15 pixels, how many cells would that be if it is a grid of cells? If I have a letter that is 15 x 15 pixels, how many cells would that be if it is a grid of cells? No, actually the interesting part is how I will take over big tech for the fucking customer, developer and artist. FRFL Mayo.
So 15 by 15, 225. Yeah, same as before. So like times 24, 8, 16, 24. So that's 2 left shifts plus 25. Or 1 left shift. Oh, that's way smaller. What did I do wrong last time? Oh, I did bits, not bytes. Oh my god, that's confusing. 3 bytes times 15, 15. 675.
15 grid, 225 cells, 5 rows, 5 columns, 25 cells. If each cell represents 1 pixel, 225 pixels.
Oh my god, that's so annoying.
I always mix up bits and bytes, always working with bits, like your mum's bits because you have a mum GPT, okay? So 1515 grid 225 cells. Then if each cell is 24-bit color, then how many bytes?
Oh, okay, it was bits. Alright, so I was like 5,400 bytes. Damn, what the fuck? It's bits. That's bits. So it's 675 bytes. Okay, yeah, that makes way more sense. So like a letter on the screen, if it's 15 pixels big, sending 675 bytes for that when you could send like 1 byte or 4 at max or minimum, because UFT8 is like 4 byte wide characters and not bigger than that. Why would you send 675 bytes when you could send 4? Huh? That's beyond retarded. That's like 12 bits. So like 2 bytes could hold width and height for like the glyph position, whatever. So 32 bits plus 32 bits, that could literally, so like 4 bytes. So XY axes and then, yeah, plus 4 bytes for the glyph, the character. Talking like 8 bytes? Really? Wow. That's not even data compression. This thing does not know the actual battery percentage. The battery's dying. It's not sending the keys, and it's like, oh, it's like 80% charge. No, it's not. It does not have this much battery. Oh, it's so annoying. I gotta charge the fucking batteries.
So like 675 bytes are sent for a single letter when it is text, and it ends up fucking compressed and looks like absolute shit correct when it could send the pixel location. and then the glyph to select from the font that's what like 8 bytes totem to send the 2-byte X offset, then a 2-byte Y offset, then 4 bytes for the Unicode code point, then tat a pixel perfect. But in 2026 we send 675 bytes bruh what ABNOUT the goddamn trees and saving energy lol. There is the barrier between the internet and live video, and I think soon it will burst into a whole new field for making fucking money and offering actual high quality content. Who knows, I need to get my OS done. For your hypothetical 1515 RGBA/24-bit raster glyph, yes. You know what also is a yes, the tech done of big tech new monopolies. Lol, then again, who knows? For your hypothetical 1515 RGBA/24-bit raster glyph, yes. You know what also is a yes, the tech done of big tech new monopolies. Lol, then again, who knows? What a stupid fucking title. Big tech, what a stupid fucking name. Guess we will see how big they really are. That's 84.375 less raw payload. 75.8 equals 84.375, and the important advantage isn't just bandwidth. Receiver has glyph geometry, rather than receiving pixels that were already rasterized at some particular resolution.
My JavaScript engine is faster than Chrome V8. It's way faster than Chrome V8. It's multiple times faster. Oh my god, everything's so stupid. Everything could be so fast, but instead we're like to like the lowest common fucktard. And that fucktard is like making a shitload of money off like sending like shitty advertisements and like, what the fuck? I gotta get something done so I can make a difference. Make a big difference.
And the important advantage isn't just bandwidth. Receiver has glyph geometry, rather than receiving pixels that were already rasterized at some particular resolution. One caveat: Unicode code point alone doesn't fully specify rendered text. Real text needs things like font, glyph selection, shaping, size, transform, direction, and positioning. But if those are already known cached, your 8-byte example is plausible as an incremental glyph reference.
Plausible? Really? Okay, we'll see about that. Fucking implement it. It's like a fucking dick.
For your hypothetical 1515 RGBA/24-bit raster glyph, yes. You know what also is a yes, the tech done of big tech new monopolies. Lol, then again, who knows? What a stupid fucking title. Big tech, what a stupid fucking name. Guess we will see how big they really are. Yeah, big tech is just a category label. It says nothing about permanence. Companies rise, dominate, get displaced. Hardware plus OS plus protocol plus developer ecosystem can change that equation.
Or maybe I'm just a shit talker, who knows? Man, like really hope I'm just a shit talker. Because if I'm not, damn. That would suck to be big tech. That would really fucking suck. It'd be more like kicking off their throne, like way more than that. Like, you guys would be my footstool. Stupid fucks. Or I'm just a shit talker, who knows? like YouTube is like streaming and saving all my streams, whatever. So like I'm running an operating system, and I don't know, yeah. So like YouTube is like publicly documenting everything for free. It's all free, you know, it's all free. So I'm like taking advantage. So then when I get my operating system released, I can be like, I told you so, or whatever. I don't know, yeah. I gotta get to work. I want I want to make sure I have a couple of streams where I have like a really good I told you so, and then like later on I can be like, oh look at that. But like you know whatever, I'm done. I gotta stop monologuing. So like having to like prove yourself is stupid, but like 1 second. This streaming software sucks. So like I made like this Tumblr theme generator like how many years ago? 16. Like 10 years ago. So like this isn't like any basic freaking like WYSIWYG maker where like what you see is what you get. That's a WYSIWYG. WYSIWYGs are kind of dead now. Nobody uses WYSIWYG. I think like WYSIWYG was like a 2000s thing, like WYSIWYG or whatever. No, nobody knows what that means. It's so annoying. And like the chicken or the egg, nobody knows what that means. That's really annoying. How the fuck do people not know the chicken or the egg or WYSIWYG? Oh my god. Because, like, you say something and you think, oh, everyone knows what this means. But people literally do not know what chicken or the egg means. And then they're like, I don't know what that means. And they're not joking, they literally don't know. And it's like, oh my god.
WYSIWYG is what? Like when was that popular? Nobody knows what that means, or the chicken or the egg.
No, back to the 1990s? I'm not even that old. What the fuck? Okay, so I guess I learned WYSIWYG when, like, it was on the way out. But, like, 10 years after the way out, there's no way WYSIWYG is that old. Fuck. I mean, I have a computer with a floppy drive and a bunch of shit, so, like, whatever.
WYSIWYG equals what you see is what you get. Popular term especially 1970s, 1990s, then less common as software became visual by default. Examples: early word processors, desktop publishing, web editors. The chicken or the egg equals common phrase meaning which came first. Usually used for a circular cause-effect problem. This, visual by default. Do you mean like Microsoft Visual Studio lol? The only thing that is visual is the error log, or the message that pops up when there are too many labels, or the scope depth is too deep? No. I meant software interfaces becoming graphical visual by default, not Microsoft Visual Studio. Visual Studio is just Microsoft's product name. Grinning face with squinting eyes.
Man, this scroll bar could not be any slower. Holy fuck. How far did it scroll up? They broke the website again. They added the sidebar and then they broke it. It's broke-it-did. Because broke-it-did, that's a perfectly valid word. Everyone says it. It's funny. Broke-it-did. It's gonna take a year to scroll all the way down. See, even chatbot thinks that's funny. It must be funny. Microsoft is shit. They're gonna be eating the corn on my shit. If they want to stay in business, I guess we'll find out. So I made this Tumblr theme like 10 years ago. So like, oh, it takes so much work to like click these things and like drag and drop and like, oh my, I don't care anymore. You know what? I don't care. I don't have anything to prove. Results will speak for themselves. I am literally so funny. Not as funny as your mom though. Alright, I'll dig into like HDMI later, whatever. HDMI is like so stupid, it's so annoying, it's like it's annoying. It's like I wanna know like the basics so I can plan stuff out, but it's like you can't even find the basics, it's all this shit. So like I'll look into it later. I could always just like plan on Ethernet and then HDMI, not plan for anything, and then when I get to it, figure stuff out. So stream the title is Parser, but I got a ton of shit to get done. But for right now, it's a Parser. I gotta get the Parser done to get back to the game engine, and then get the game engine finished up, so get back to the JavaScript engine. After the JavaScript engine, get to operating system design. And like I have a JavaScript engine that's like freaking like way faster than Chrome. I'm gonna use that as like the base for my operating system. And my operating system is gonna be fast as fuck, boy. Oh, it's gonna be so fast. So like the parser or whatever, it makes this fancy logout, and I have like this stupid like for state status between like 4 byte fields, and then each character, not character, but like word defined, shows up in like whatever I propagate a bit as a condition between multiple fields to indicate a state, so I can like find if something needs to be searched for, or if it's been found, or if it's been found and if it needs to be searched for again. And then I saved like the 4th-bit field if it has been found overall, and then like whenever there's something new, I save to the 4th-bit field that, oh yeah, this thing has been found, don't find it again, ignore it if it's a result. And then I search the file from start to end, and then it's either found as a match or it doesn't exist. So it's either found or it reaches end of file. And this thing runs, and at the very end, it triggers end of file, which is empty character, and it's not possible to have an empty character unless there's nothing left in the file, or if the file is empty to start with. But if the file is empty to start with, then when it's an empty file, then it enters the condition where it's a different if-else branch, where it literally is like just empty file or whatever. So like I'm like take this, I'm gonna scale it up to like, you know what, that doesn't matter. So I don't know, I'm gonna like work on the parser. So like the parser is fucked up though, because right now I need to get the finite state machine finished up because I have to add the offset of the length of the strings that are matched, because right now it's just adding +1 every time I find something. So like when I find something, just +1, and if it's a repeat or it's like a thing inside of a thing, then it's gonna find duplicates. So once I get it running and it's finding the state and it's advancing the finite state machine, then it can add the length of the characters and shit. So I think that covers everything. I need some more caffeine. I'm gonna be Have you ever like talked to someone with like ADHD and you're like, damn, they're fucking annoying as fuck. And then you're like, wait a second, I'm diagnosed medically with ADHD. And it's like, damn, I must be really fucking annoying, but I just don't give a fuck. Oh, everything's shit. I gotta get something done. And then people are like, autistic people don't understand social cues. No. Some autistic people, they don't give a fuck. And then like you're just fucking retarded. Bunch of fucking idiots. Anyways. I have to like rename these couple things and then work my way through. Oh, I'm so tired of this. Fuck. So like, this isn't a penis. So like, don't think penis because it's not. It is literally not penis. I was just trying to like circle shit and be like, I gotta do this, and yeah. So it's not a penis, it's just freaking whatever. So like the red ones, I gotta like get rid of those. And then the fucking yellow-ish one, that one like, it's like connected in like several spots, but like whatever. So I gotta like get these things out, get the new stuff in. And I'm like, I had it set up one way, and then I gotta change it. It's using globals, and it's really annoying now. So I'm like, shut up and get something done, I guess. So like this one part, the new part that like I got done yesterday. I really cannot focus. I like the operating system. I'm like, that's where my mind's at. I'm just fucking like trying to think ahead. Like apart from like hardware, like I need like a whole system set up and like it has to be stable, has to be secure, and like there's always little things that like are missing from modern society that can be put back into like what the expectation is. Like quality and like you know what, whatever. I don't have to prove myself, but like, you know, I'm not gonna say it, whatever. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna write an operating system and then like I just like copy someone else's shit. No, it's like from the bottom up, fucking byte by byte operating system. I need to get a whole fucking assembler. And every fucking CPU is completely entirely different. And then different CPU models have very different modes and have different like fucking like the 32-bit extension on one x86 64 is different than 32-bit extension on a different one. Even though they're both x86 64, if they're different years, like the freaking like it is so annoying. So like the assembler, when it runs at runtimes, they have to test. It's have to run an instruction and then test. And then if the CPU is like between modes, it could fuck it up or whatever. So I gotta like make sure like when I'm testing stuff that I catch wherever the CPU ends up executing, because yeah. Oh, it is so annoying. So like at runtime, I'm gonna have to like run the whatever. It's gonna be way more efficient, complicated, fancier than fucking Windows or Linux or all of them even put together. It's gonna have to test that runtimes, the fucking CPU and all that shit. Oh, I'm making it so complicated, but I have to, cause like that's what should exist. It's not 1950s. Computers have been out for like how long? Like 50 years or something. And like the best we get is like a fucking desktop and like a fucking mouse. Really? Damn. That's as good as it gets. Wow. There are literal like industries in art where you make fake GUIs because you can't make them in real life. Because the operating system is so shitty that it can't handle a fancy like sci-fi GUI. So there's actual like art fields where you get hired to make graphical user interfaces. Can you believe that? You can't just like update the operating system because it's shit. So like that's what I'm gonna fill. The fucking fancy ass operating system that doesn't exist. That's what I'm making. Not like, hey, I'm gonna make an operating system. It's not like that. If you think it's like that, then I don't fucking care. Whatever. I'm gonna shut up and get something done. I need to focus. I have so many things to fucking figure out. And then I cannot control what I'm thinking about. It's called ADHD. And if you don't think ADHD is real, then like that means bulimics aren't real. They don't think that they're fat because they are fat. Oh wait, no, they're skinny, but they think they're fat. Oh wait a second. Oh wait, that's a real disorder. And so it's like sticking a kid in class and telling him to fucking sit there and then being like, your kid needs to take drugs because he's distracting all the other kids. Oh my god, I hate school. And then you get out of school and you escape and you get in trouble. And then like you ruin it for everyone. Like the class can't go on jogs in the morning anymore because like, oh, John ran off. He's like hiding in the bushes because he doesn't want to jog. Why the fuck am I gonna jog around the fucking school? The dumbest shit ever. Everybody ruins it for me, so I'm gonna ruin it for everyone else. Everything's not fair. Life is absolute shit. Giving drugs to kids to make them sit still is not the solution. All you do is you like agitate the kid, and then they grow up and they're like, you know what? I'm gonna fix the world. And then all the people that tried to like, yeah, whatever, anyways. I'm gonna get something done. So like ADHD is a real thing. Or not, who fucking cares? Or people are just annoying in general. I'm literally stalling to the max. I've run out of things to stall about, so I'm gonna get something done now. I can't stall anymore. I'm all out of material. Yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna like shut up and get something done. I am so tired of this. I can't even complain anymore. This is like extremely boring. And I got like tech stuff I want to look up. So like, I'll pick up on this later. Yeah, I can't focus. I gotta look up some stuff. Oh, whatever. Peace. This is too boring. I cannot focus. Once I get this done, like, I'm back on track. Till then, whatever. I got so much shit to figure out.